we'll get started. All right, so a quick overview of the topics that we will be covering today. We'll cover the grant program, the timeline, eligibility, fiscal sponsorship, examples of activities, the panel review, and at the end, we will walk through the online application. So if you have any questions throughout this whole time, feel free to leave them in the chat or unmute yourself as a way to ask questions as well. So let's get started. All right, so the O Arts Oceanside Arts and Culture Grant. As mentioned before, this grant program is funded by the Oceanside Arts Commission and the Oceanside Cultural Arts District. And we are awarding $130,000 in awards to support arts and culture activities in the city of Oceanside. Award amounts start at $2,500 and go up to $7,500. Individual artists, nonprofit organizations, and fiscally sponsored organizations are eligible to apply. Activities must occur within the city of Oceanside, and the application due date is August 14th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. So please save the date and give yourselves plenty of time to apply. We are here also as a resource. So if you have any questions throughout your whole application process, we're happy to help. But please do give yourself that time before the deadline to apply. And I did want to give some time if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute or leave them in the chat whenever. All right. So the timeline. Applications, like I mentioned, are now open through August 14th, due at 11:59 p.m. After submissions are submitted, we do have a panel deliberation that will be going on. So a grant of panelists are going to be reviewing your applications and scoring them based on a rubric. And if you're selected as an awardee, award notifications will be given on October 17th at our O Arts grants celebration. So that's a very fun event that we do to celebrate those folks that are awarded. And if you are selected as an awardee, awards will be distributed in November, and the grant funding period is active from October 2026 to September 2027. Activities can take place anytime during that period. And we do have a requirement of an end of year grant report, which is due September 2027. So, of course, if you are selected, you will receive more information about the requirements. However, feel free again if there's any questions on this, leave them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. All right, as for applicant eligibility, like I mentioned, individual artists, nonprofits, and fiscally sponsored organizations are eligible to apply. Individual artists must be 18 years of age or older and can demonstrate history of past creative activities and must be a resident of Oceanside. Organizations must be a registered nonprofit organization or a fiscally sponsored organization that can demonstrate creative activities, a past of creative activities. And lastly, as a reminder, ineligible applicants are for-profit organizations and those without fiscal sponsorship and government entities or organizations. So, are there any questions?
Are there other cities are doing similar stuff?
As far as I know the city of Carlsbad does do some grant opportunities. Um, I'm not sure, CJ, if you'd like to add in any other cities that you're aware of, but I know for sure Oceanside, this is our third year of the grant cycle, so we're very proud to be able to support artists in this way.
Okay, thank you.
And I did want to give some time to go over what fiscal sponsorship is. So this technically refers to a nonprofit organization offering their legal and tax-exempt status to other organizations and businesses. So I did include a few examples. So one could be a nonprofit organization may fiscally sponsor a for-profit art gallery. A nonprofit education center may fiscally sponsor a community programmer. And the fiscal sponsor is the grant payee and is responsible for distributing the funds to the sponsored organization. So if you are looking to go this route, this is something to consider. Right. And now moving on to activity eligibility. Grants fund new and existing arts and culture activities occurring throughout the city of Oceanside. So I did underline that just to emphasize that one of our main requirements is your activity must be in the city of Oceanside. And funding cannot be used for activities taken outside of the city of Oceanside, activities completed prior to the grant period, reimbursement for purchases made prior to the grant period, activities that discriminate against participants based on gender, race, religion, or other protective characteristics, lobbying or political activities, activities that violate local, state, or federal laws, activities lacking appropriate permits or approvals for completion, and operating expenses unrelated to the proposed activity. And of course, if you have any questions at all about your arts and culture activity and whether or not it's eligible, you're more than welcome to contact us and have any of those doubts cleared. Okay. So now I want to give examples of activities that funding can support. So this is a great list and hopefully it can inspire some of you. If you're still unsure of exactly what you want to do, but there's things such as broadcasting, exhibitions, professional development, an arts residency. But we do encourage you to be creative and think beyond the examples listed here. But honestly, there's lots and lots of possibilities for your arts and culture activities that you can propose. And when it comes to the grant awardee selection process, it is important to note that all completed applications will be evaluated according to a comprehensive scoring rubric by a panel of recognized field representatives. So they will be going through a panel review. And if anyone you know, or if you yourself are interested in becoming a panelist, you can also apply online. There's an application for that. And the deadline is the 14th. And you can scan the QR code or visit the link below. All right, so now I want to take time to look over the online application that's hosted on Google Forms. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that. All right, so can y'all let me know if you can see the Google form now? Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is an online application. Like I mentioned, it's through Google Forms. Um, it is very straightforward, and one thing we really wanted to emphasize is just making it as accessible as possible for you all as you go through this application process. I do want to emphasize before you begin your application to review the grant guidelines as well as the rubric. And I do want to take some time to look at the rubric real quick. So this is exactly what the panelists will be using as they score your applications. And I really, really, like I said, just emphasizing that this is really great to use as a guideline to make sure you hit all those points on your application. You know, describes you the expansion of your reach, enhancement of skills, and or goals for your activity, that you provide a vision of activity goals and intended outcomes. Your activity connects with under-resourced artists and our communities in Oceanside, and that your timeline and budget are congruent with the activity description and outcomes. So as you fill out your application, I would really say to look back at this rubric and, like I mentioned, make sure that all those topics are hit and that you have clear answers for that, because this is really going to help you make sure that you have a good score and overall a well and thought out application. But as I mentioned, yeah, the application is very straightforward. It'll ask for things such as your personal information, or information on your organization, and more so on your activity that you're proposing. So the amount that you're requesting, the name, the title, where the activity will take place. And there is a series of short answer questions, which I do believe this is where the rubric can come in very helpful to make sure that these short answers reflect what is asked in the rubric. And there is some attachments that you'll have to give. So that's another thing. Make sure that all your attachments are in your application, that you don't forget any. And at the end, it will just ask you to sign off, and you will get a copy of your application emailed to you once you submit it. And of course, you can scan the QR code if you'd like to look at that application now or visit the link right here. And if you have any questions again throughout this whole process, feel free to contact us at the cultural district at oceansideca.org email or visit our page on the Oceanside Public Library website. Okay, so I did want to give some time to go over some frequently asked questions. As I mentioned, this is our third cycle of the application of the grant program overall. And I've had some of these questions come up pretty often. And one of them is, does my activity have to take place within the cultural district? And no, activities are not limited to the cultural district. However, all events must take place in the city of Oceanside. So that's just something I want to emphasize because it has been something that's been brought up. Um, and yeah, so another thing is, does my fiscal sponsor have to be based in California? And to answer that question, yes, in our grant guidelines, we do ask that an applicant organization without nonprofit status must use a California-based fiscal sponsor with a federal 501c3 designation to apply for funding. And another question is, can I submit multiple applications? And the answer is yes. You are able to submit multiple applications for different activities that you'd like to propose. Okay, so, do you
Hmm.
have any questions on that? And I think Wayne, you're unmuted. Oh, yeah. All right. And lastly, just wanted to end off with some helpful tips and reminders for you all during this process. As I mentioned before, and I'll keep mentioning, using the rubric as a guide when answering the short answer questions is something that I really recommend. I also recommend please only submit 2 work samples, which is what we ask in your application. However, if you submit more than 2, then it gets a little tricky because I'm not sure exactly which of the ones you send in that you want the panelists to review. So again, just to reiterate, only submit 2 work samples and double check that your application is submitted. I know like sometimes these things take a while and you can kind of oversee little things, but I do really recommend as well just getting another set of eyes to look over your application and make sure you have all the correct attachments, everything is submitted. And honestly, overall, just like emphasizing the fact that having a well thought out application is important, one that answers all the questions in the grant application and emphasizes really how the activity proposed incorporates underserved pockets in the community and benefits the city of Oceanside. So, is there any questions on that? Um, If not, that does bring us to the end of this workshop. I really want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today and really taking that initiative to learn more about this grant application and making sure you have a well thought out application submitted. I thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope this was helpful. Again, if you need any help throughout this whole process, you can contact us at culturaldistrict@oceansidecity.org or call the phone number on the screen. And more than welcome to follow us at Oceanside Cultural District on Instagram for updates regarding the grant. And of course, feel free to follow the Oceanside Public Library, which is one of the cultural district's main partners and supporters. So shout out to the library, but we do have plenty of time left for questions. So if you all have any that stand out to you right now, I'm more than happy to answer those for you. I'm glad I get to see
I would
your.
like to
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
add.
I finally get to
Nope.
see everyone's faces because I was just looking at the PowerPoint. So I'm so happy I get to see everyone now.
And Anna Marina, I just wanted to add thank you so much for all the wonderful work that you're doing to make this grant happen. This grant is possible because of a grant. The library wrote a grant to the state, got some funding to support this. The Arts Commission is a city commission that gets a small allotment every year. So really, we tried to be resourceful to bring this opportunity to you all. We know grants can seem very daunting, but we wrote a grant to get this grant, so we completely understand that. We tried to make it a really straightforward process, and we're always here, Anna Marina and all the library staff, to help you as you write your grant. So good luck.
Thank you, CJ. Yeah, so if there's any questions, again,
Hello.
hi. Hi,
Hi, just want to say
Morgan.
hi. Yeah, just want to say thank you so much for doing this. And making it pretty easy to follow too, I have a nonprofit, but relatively new at it, so I appreciate this format and making it relatively simple to follow. So appreciate that, and I will be trying out. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Oh,
you.
is it possible to
Appreciate
get that scan code again?
Yeah, I can reshare that for you real quick.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. So this is the for the application you mentioned?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, I think that covers everything, like I mentioned, and I'll keep mentioning because we're here as a resource. Any questions you have throughout this whole application process, more than happy to help. Um, we really are very active on our Instagram as well, Oceanside Cultural District. So any further updates, I'll be sure to post those on there. But again, feel free to contact me at any time. And I thank you for joining us today during your lunch hour. I really appreciate it.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, of course.
Could you share some, or is there a location where we could look at some of the artists and activities that have been funded before?
Yeah, so I would recommend visiting the Oceanside Public Library's website. So in the About Us tab, there's a section for the Oceanside Cultural District.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions? If not, we'll let you all go and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.